Peace, God.
Peace to the trap lord.
Peace to the gods and the lords.
Peace, peace. What up, Ferg? How you doing, brother?
I'm good, man. I can't complain. In good spirits.
No doubt. You're looking comfortable and healthy. It's a beautiful day,
Likewise,
brother.
man. Likewise.
No doubt. Thank you for doing this with us. We got Jasmin, Leigh in the back. Do you see Jasmin in the back?
Hey, what's up, Jazz?
What's up?
How you feeling? Oh, I like your setup. I thought she was in a Paid in Full movie. She right next to Wood Harris.
I got the Paid in Full in the back because I was trying to get in my Harlem vibe. I mean my uptown vibe so I can interview you. You know what I'm saying?
Uptown.
You know, Hungry Ham vibe.
Hungry Ham.
I was trying to get the Sugar Hill on, but I couldn't find Sugar Hill on YouTube. You know what I'm saying?
How you feeling?
I'm good, man. Thank you for doing this. Thank you for being you. So let me do an official introduction for everybody watching. This is the People's Party. We got somebody who's widely known in the hip hop game. He is a member of the ASAP crew, the ASAP mob. He's a torch holder for Uptown. He's a rapper. He's a director. He's a painter, a style icon. You see how fresh the boy got the grip. You know what I'm saying? We got the trap lord himself, ASAP Ferg in the house. People's Party Live. Give it up. Woo.
Man,
yeah.
I appreciate that, man. You're a legend yourself, man. Hey, they don't know that we go all the way back to South by Southwest. When I came down to your show, we was hanging out after your show, and you embraced the young Ferg, a young, hungry Ferg, and you gave me a lot of encouraging words. So I want to appreciate you for that and everything you've done in your career and showed us how to do it and showed us the way. So I appreciate you for that.
No doubt. Shout out to your whole crew. You, Rocky, Yams, everybody used to come to the Black Star shows, even in New York and South by Southwest days. I ran into y'all in London, hanging out. You know what I'm saying? There's always been love. Whenever I see that y'all crew, it's always like a warm embrace thing for me and my crew. So I definitely appreciate that.
No doubt, man. Rest in peace, ASAP Yams.
No doubt. Rest in peace to Yams. You talk a lot about paying homage. You know what I'm saying? Like since you started your career, you had on your debut album, you had Onyx and Bones Thugs and Harmony and Be Real.
Be Real, yeah.
You had Chuck D on your album. You know what I'm saying? Like you talk about growing up in the era, watching DMX and them do it. You born in '88. I feel like '88 is the best year for hip hop. That's the year that what came out? BDP came out, By Any Means Necessary. He's a DJ, I'm a rapper. Light as a Rock came out. Like Strictly Business.
I love Light as a Rock. I was just listening to that.
No doubt. No doubt. Why do you feel like it's necessary for someone of your caliber and your generation to always pay homage the way that you do?
One, pay homage because that's showing appreciation for the ones that came before us, the pioneers that showed us how to style, how to do it. You know what I'm saying? I grew up looking up to Onyx. I got a lot of my style. You see a lot of the animated style that came from Onyx and Screaming on Records and all of that. That energy came from Onyx, just that New York, that New Yorkism. And then you had like Be Real, who had that voice representing for the West Coast. And then you had Bone Thugs, which like the double time flow, like that's where I get my flow from. And my whole thing was you have to make history with history to be a part of history, literally. Wow. So I'm like, if I make a song with Bone Thugs, whenever they type in Bone Thugs, they're gonna see ASAP Ferg name, and vice versa. You know what I'm saying? Like they through those songs, they was traveling and stuff, but they was able to pick up their career a lot more after that. And then like I did a few shows on their tour, and it was just like, damn, like I got to meet Flesh and Bone and Busy Bone and all of the Bones, Flesh and like everybody. So
right.
It was just a vibe. And I just love like getting the game from older people anyway. Like they was telling me a rack of Biggie and Tupac stories and how it really was back then. And how like how Tupac really ain't hate Biggie. It was just like all for the money. That's what Busy Bone told me. It was like, yo, Tupac told him, yo, I'm just basically trolling, what they call trolling now, because it's all for the money. It's just that everybody on the outside took it serious, way more serious than what it was.
No doubt. That's why with all these battles, somebody was talking about they want to see Dr. Dre versus
Puff.
Diddy. I'm like, I don't know if the audience can handle that. Niggas be in their feelings too much about that.
I'm ready for that. I'm ready for that.
But let me ask you this: I'm known as a lyricist, and so I recognize brothers of my cloth. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, you are an ill lyricist, brother.
Oh my gosh, I appreciate that.
Real.
Thank you for recognizing that. That's one of the biggest compliments I'm glad that I'm alive to hear that right now.
No doubt. I got to give you flowers while you're here. You know, we just lost an ill lyricist, Fred the Godson, from this disease, from this
Yeah.
COVID that's going on around here. So
Rest
we
in
got to
peace,
give our
Fred.
brothers. Yeah, rest in peace, Fred the Godson. I'm gonna do a tribute to him tonight on my IG. But I gotta ask you, as an ill lyricist, you known for making hit records. You're known for making club bangers. Like a lot of people my age don't even know that you ill with the bars. Is that something that frustrates you, or do you even think about that?
It don't frustrate me because I think that people don't really recognize all your full talent and everything until like it's too late anyway.
Right.
And I think that's the beauty of music and everlasting music and classic music. My music gonna last forever. There's a reason why Work is still banging in the club. There's a reason why New Level is still, kids is graduating in Africa and crossing over to New Level. There's a reason why Plain Jane is going 5 times platinum in New York. I mean, in the United States, and going 3 times platinum in Australia. There's a reason, because there's truth in these lyrics. Like, yeah, you could turn up to the beat and the BPM, but when you turn the beat off and I'm talking, you can't hear those words. What I'm speaking is my truth in my life. I'm not just out here rapping and just, you know, putting words together. I'm out here like really speaking a story. And I think people really recognize that. And I think the ones that recognize it, and not just the ones that come along with the crowd and just like, oh, this is popular to listen to, so it's dope. But I think the ones who really dissect it and listen to it and like it and listen to it over and over and over, I think those are the ones that really deserve it to. I mean, everybody deserves the message, but those are the ones who get it. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
And those are my fans. Those are my fam.
No doubt, no doubt. I once had an opportunity to be at Diddy's crib. He was having a little party. It was a real little party. It was like Diddy, Irv Gotti, and a couple other people. And I had my laptop, and he was like, this was like 2013 maybe. He's like, you DJ, right? I'm like, yeah, sometimes. He's like, play me something that you feel like is the hottest shit in the clubs right now. So I played him New Level. This shit that just came out, right? And he was like, yo, he stopped it. He was like, this record, he had heard it before. I didn't introduce him to it, but he was like, this record is the best record I've heard in years. He was like, this record is going to be around for years. This record is not just hot for right now.
I hope you filming this. I hope you filming all of what you saying right now.
Oh, I am. We're going to put it on YouTube tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, you know, you just said that. You said you made that record to do that. Talk to me about making that record New Level, because that's one of my favorite hip-hop songs in recent memory, working on that record with Future.
So I was working on my album, Always Strive and Prosper, which was, to me, one of my best works that I've put out, my best album, because like I literally like tell my story from start to finish, like, well, start to like where I'm at. Like when we say ASAP, it's always strive and prosper. So it's like I've always strived and I finally prospered, and I tell that story. So with New Level, that kind of was like the summary of the whole album, and it was my only turn up song really, because before then I had a song with Chuck D and my grandmother. It was called Beautiful People, and I got a song called Let It Bang, and Psycho, which is about my uncle. And I got a few songs that's really about my life. My grandmother passing, and me telling the whole story, how I got signed and how I met Brian Leach, and how he gave us the $3 million deal, or he gave like us the label deal, me, Rocky, and the whole ASAP, and just how my life changed. So it's like that represents prosper, but the New Level is really like what really captivated the album. It was like the last song, the last beat that I found. I was like, yo, I need a turn up record, because people gonna be like, yo, we know Ferg for the turn ups. Like, what's up with all of this, you know, introspective rap, which would have been so different for the world. So I had to give him some turn up, and thank God, C-No had sent like a pack of four to five beats, and New Level was the second one. And I had listened to it. I kept listening to it. I was on tour with Diplo and Skrillex at the time. That was when they had a group called Jack U, and we was on a train tour. It was a crazy tour. Like, we stopped in like every spot in Canada, and I remember playing that beat. We had a studio on the front where everybody just get a chance to get on a wire and play beats, and you know, use the equipment. And it was my turn. I played the beat. Everybody was going crazy to the beat. And then I'm sitting there listening to the beat, and I was just saying how I was feeling, and I was really feeling like I was on a new level. Like I'm on tour with Jack U. I'm doing a whole EDM tour. I'm touching different fans.
Used to be sleeping on itchy beds.
Yeah, bed bugs in a motel.
Hotel.
I'm talking about real stories. Like I remember, like my hype man Tarzan. Shout out to Tarzan. We had to sleep at a motel because and when he woke up, he's light skinned. His whole back had bed bug bites on it. He's gonna kill me because of this, but his whole back he was bitten up. And then it's like I went back to like being in Australia now, and I had all the girls in the hotel, 20 girls in the hotel. Now get your gimme head, 20 chickens in my hotel. On a Roman noodle diet, tour life wasn't so well. All my chickens start riots, Mars pit when they toenails. My uncle T doing so well, first class from an old cell. T Ferg did 15, and the feds getting no mail. My daddy died and my cousin too. They ain't let him out of no cell. My father and my cousin died 1 year apart. So my cousin died first. He told me my cousin died. Yo, your cousin died. I ain't hear from my father in like weeks. Your cousin died. And then the next year he died. My uncle was in a 15-year bid. T Ferg. They locked him down because they thought he was going to turn the jail upside down because he was just mad because they know his son just died. Now my father had passed away. And they put him in a hole for months. And, yeah, so that's what I'm talking about. T Ferg doing so well. First class from an old cell. T Ferg did 15. And the feds getting no mail. My daddy died and my cousin too. They ain't let him out of no cell. You know, providing jobs for my whole block. I cannot stop now. So I'm just talking about like providing opportunities for my neighborhood. My cousin got a do-rag line. It's called Silk City. Okay. And you'll hear me refer to him, you know what I'm saying, and talking about businesses and, you know, just putting power in people's hands that surround my circle just so they can be able to fend for themselves, because that's what I've always been about. No doubt. Jasmin, you had a question?
Yes.
Ferg, can you hear her? What she said, you can reiterate her question if I can't hear her. Okay.
Oh, I said I love do-rags. You can hook me up.
I got you.
So, I know you directed a secret video for Future. Thought it was a drought. That was going to be dedicated to
Yes, I did.
What happened to that project? Where did it go?
I don't know. I got paid for the video, but I think somebody hated on me. I think somebody from his team, it was just like, I don't know, they didn't put the video out. I got Prodigy in that video. I got Jonathan Mayans showing like old like pictures that never came out. I got Power from Wu-Tang in that video. I got Future wearing a UPROXX jacket with Tim's on his East Coast shit. We shot some of that video on Spike. We shot some of that video on Spike Lee crib. Okay. Wow. I'm gonna put that video out. I'm gonna talk to Future. I'm gonna call him today. We gonna put that shit out. That's what we gonna do. That's what we gotta do. Yeah, we need that. We need that in the quarantine. We need that. Yeah. So you mentioned Spike Lee. You directed videos. You put together the visual material for Values, the joint that just dropped. Hold on for a minute. Spike Lee crib. Spike Lee let me shoot a video on his crib. That's what I'm talking about. Come on, that's crazy. So what you gonna do with that though? Like you gotta go from the video to the movies. Now. You gotta direct the movie. Man, I want to. I would love to. I want to do the Yams movie. Yeah, that'd be a great movie. Yeah, and that could be the start of the saga. You know what I'm saying? To each ASAP mob member. Right. That's and that's eventually what I want to get into, because I feel like as rappers and just artists in general, because I feel like we tell stories, and you can tell stories through clothing. You can tell stories through film, through videos, through books. So I feel like I can use a different medium to tell a story, through documentary, through film, through, all of these different things. So an album is a movie. Why not shoot a movie for an album? I believe that's what Ice Cube did, and I liken my career to his progressively. You know what I'm saying? That's where I would love to go next, is like more into film and really executive produce things and things like that. And I got my hands in a few things too. Like I'm working on a documentary right now I can't really talk too much about, but I'm executive producing it.
Okay. We had RZA on IG Live last week, and we asked him about working with Quentin Tarantino. And the last thing he said before we tapped out, he was like, I'm telling everybody from the hood to write their own story. Write your own story, put your story out. That was the advice he had to give us. But you talked about your grandmother, and you talked about your uncle, and you know, me being a fan of your music, one thing that I noticed is that on Plain Jane, you talk about your grandmother and your uncle. All through Trap Lord, all through these albums, it's your grandmother, your uncle, your grandmother, your uncle. I lost my grandmother 2017, and I was online looking for music to help me, you know, deal with it.
Right.
And I came across Grandma, your joint.
Woo. One of my favorite joints.
Say, brother, I gotta say, that's one of the best hip hop songs I ever heard in my life, bro.
Wow.
That song really, I think more people need to hear that song.
Yeah.
And put a lot of things in perspective for me. Tell me about your grandmother and why you felt the need to do that tribute to her.
Well, for that specific reason, most of the time our grandmothers go before us, so I knew that it would be somewhat of a ballad, or just like a song that everybody could relate to, because they're the oldest, so they most likely gonna go first. Everybody can relate to that. She meant a lot to me. My mother was in college and she was going in for a bachelor's. I spent a lot of time with my grandmother. We shared a lot. We slept in the same bed. She got me dressed for, you know, to go to school in the morning. She woke me up. We stayed up late night watching movies. My mom didn't let me do that. You know, she let me get away with a lot of things. I mean, she used to hide my uncle guns in her mattress. Like my grandmother was lit. Like we was sleeping on some Glocks.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So she was a real grandmom's. And before she got like sick and like she was kind of bedridden a little bit, and before she was doing that, she was like a very prosperous woman, and just in the nurse field. She would go to different houses and take care of different people and things like that. And she wound up being the patient, and she had like great friends that took care of her. So, yeah, I just thought that I'd give back, and I wanted to talk to her in a way that everybody could hear me talk to my grandmother, and also use it to kind of cope with their grandmother.
Yeah, I appreciate you for making that record, brother. Help me tremendously. Your people's from Trinidad, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
PT Valley.
You get to go to the island often, or at all?
You know, before the pandemic, I was traveling so much. I was just traveling, and I didn't get a chance to go home in a long time. I didn't get a chance to be with my family for about 4 years. It was the last. I took my grandfather to my aunt's house, and I just wanted to spend time with my grandfather. I had a show actually with ASAP Nas, Method Man and Redman, and we flew from Poland to New York, and then picked up my grandfather, and we went to Trinidad, and we did mask and all of that. Was on a floats and everything like that. Trinidad was dope.
I got people's cousins down there. I did that. I used to go bird watching with Camilla from 555 Soul in Trinidad back in the day.
Oh, word?
Yeah. Now Nicki Minaj from Trinidad, you worked with her on Plain Jane.
Right.
You know, that record, talk to me about, because that record took over New York City. Earlier we was talking about that record, and you talked about the record being a New York City record, and then you corrected yourself. It was like really, you know, globally international. But I remember that record had taken over New York City in a big way, man. Talk about coming up with the record originally and then getting Nicki on the remix.
So when I did Plain Jane, I was going through, it was a tough period in my life, because the guy who signed me, Brian Leach of Polo Ground Records, he gave me my deal. He gave Rocky his deal, Pitbull his deal.
Yeah, I mean, I had dealings with Brian Leach early in my career.
Yeah, and shout out to Brian Leach and Polo Ground Records. He did a lot for me in my career. He had got locked up, unfortunately, and I had to be my own label, and I had to grind hard, and I had to stay alive. I was in survival mode. I was just talking about this story to 12 2 days ago, and that was when I got my most features done. That was when Madonna had called me to come to the studio. That was when I was just going crazy, dropping songs on SoundCloud. And then I came across this I came across the Juicy J record, The Slob of My Knob, like corn on the cob. That joint, his first song he ever did. Me and my uncle was listening to it in LA, and I'm like, nobody ain't do this over yet. Right. And I'm like, yo, this is a low hanging fruit. I swear to God, I knew that it was gonna be a hit. I felt like God just left it for me to do. It was low hanging fruit. It's like an apple off the tree that just was fire. Like, it's perfect, no blemishes in it. I'm like, oh, and Juicy ain't say the suck a nigga dick or something part like twice. Like, I'm making this a hook.
That's a hook.
Yeah, I'm making this a hook because that's what we screaming in the club. So
wait, what's the clean version they played on the radio?
Mobbing with my click or something.
Mobbing with that don't
Oh
work.
yeah.
that ain't it.
Yeah, yeah. The white people still screaming. The white people still scream suck a nigga dick or something.
Right.
Even when I'm performing a mobbing with my click or something, they screaming suck a nigga dick or something.
Now you come from like the hip hop realm, like you come from that hustle. Your father, Darryl Ferguson, he had a boutique. He was doing logos for Diddy and Heavy D and them, right?
Yeah, he did a logo for Uptown Cats Records for Andre Harrell. He did the Puff Bad Boy logo. He did some stuff for Teddy Riley, Heavy D. Yep.
Shout out to Teddy Riley's fedora. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to Teddy.
Heavy D. Rest in peace to Heavy D. But you was doing belts. Devani was the name of the company?
Yeah, Devoni is my clothing line.
Devoni.
The name comes from Devonian, which was a time and era evolution.
Okay.
It's when fish had legs and walked on dry land. And it stems from Red Rocks in Devon, England. That's what they said. Like everything, like all species and everything was originated from.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm saying, can I get a belt?
I'm doing home decor right now. Actually, I'm like working on rugs, tables, chairs.
Jasmin, you wanted to know about that, right?
Yes, I was looking up at your home decor.
Yeah.
I really need some of that. I hope it's.
And it's crazy that I was thinking about doing home decor, and now people are spending way more time in their house.
I know.
Yeah. So like, I'll have some stuff out very, very soon. Very soon. And
on Trap Lord, you're trying to get niggas to God. You reference Elijah Muhammad in the Nation of Islam. What are your current spiritual beliefs?
My spiritual belief is a personal one. But I think that God is the universe. That's how I feel. I feel like we are very, very when like the 5%ers say we gods and lords, I don't think they literally mean we gods and lord, like God, like, oh, I could tell you what to do, demanding. I think what they mean,
or like the whitewash version of what God is. The mystery God in the sky. They're not talking about that.
Yeah, what I think they're talking about is like, if God is a whole human body, we're like a very small portion somewhere in like his pinky or something. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I think they mean by it, and that's how I look at God and just spiritual belief. I think that we're all one. As you look at this pandemic, this is how each other. If you see a brother doing bad and doing sick or whatever the case may be, and you don't help him out, it's almost like you're not helping yourself out. Like, if you don't put him in the hospital and get him better, he's going to spread the germs, and we're all going to be sick. So we're all one, literally. So if he dies, we all die.
No doubt. I mean, that's the whole thing about healthcare, right? Is that healthcare, you don't want a sick populace. A sick populace is way more expensive than just making sure that everybody is well off. You from New York, Jasmin from New York, I'm from New York. New York was hit very hard, the hardest in America. You say on your record, you know, work is such a good record, but my favorite part of work is when you be like, you gotta close the window because New York don't know how to be quiet. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, New York, you know, Brian Lee started Polo Grounds. You come from Hamilton Heights. These are places where people live on top of each other.
Right.
Can you speak to people who are not from New York about how, you know, about how people in New York have to deal with living on top of each other in something like this, where pandemic, where being rude is the new nice. You know, now if you're not rude to a motherfucker, they think you're not nice.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
exactly.
if you get too close to a motherfucker, they be like, oh, what you doing, man?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And New York, we all living on top of each other. So talk to the audience about growing up in New York, and that New Yorker spirit.
We're frozen.
Oh yeah, I see that. But yeah, man, talk to me about New York, man, growing up in Hamilton Heights, and how your people's dealing with the pandemic.
Well, my family and immediate circle is good. You know, we got group chats and we all sharing like methods on staying healthy and how to stay healthy. Drinking our black seed oil every day. Our ginger shots, keeping the inflammation out of the body. Keeping that, trying to stay alkaline. You know what I'm saying? Keeping that mucus out of the body. But for the most part, yeah, we just trying to like stay strong, stay in the house, stay safe, and we just checking on each other. But most of the time, man, besides all of the passing and the and just, you know, being depressed from watching the news all the time and seeing what's going on, we walk around with our heads high. And we proud people. Like we not finna, you know, sit and solve. Like we not those type of people. We celebrate lives as they come and go. And
That's right.
yeah, I had some friends and homies that actually got the COVID, and they called me from the hospital, and it made it a very real thing for me. And that's what really led me on to like hollering at Melba, which is a really good friend of mine's, and more of a family member. And she connected me with Dr. Sampson Davis, really to school me on what was going on and what was the traffic in his hospital and what was actually happening analytically. So he gave me numbers on like the people that was coming into his hospital and how this thing is affecting people and how to really protect yourself, how to wear your mask and your gloves, because, you know, people be wearing a mask under here, but it's like if the germs is on the outside of the mask, that means it's all under your chin. And you going to eat and you doing all of this stuff, you rubbing your eyes, you rubbing your nose, you spreading that stuff all over the place. So he really, like, we did a few lives on it. I went and I did some service to some of the frontline doctors at Harlem Hospital. I first went there and I served 200 people, and then I teamed up with Melba, and we just recently went back to Harlem Hospital and served 300 people. So we just trying to spread the word. I seen somebody say like, yo, why would you post it? Be a real one. You just doing it for the clout. It's not even about clout. The first time I did it, I didn't even post it. I'm not even thinking about that. But I was thinking, why wouldn't I post it? We need to make this a thing. We need more people in our hip hop and just our culture in general to participate however you can. So like, you know, I'm gonna keep posting it. I'm gonna keep letting people know what I'm doing, and I'm gonna keep building awareness.
And we gonna keep saluting you.
And not only that, people need positivity right now. So them seeing that there's good in the world and that people are trying to help people out, that's gonna boost other people around.
Can you repeat that, Jazz?
I said right now people need positivity. Like we need to see that there are people helping each other.
Yeah.
So when they see that you reaching out, it's gonna boost other people's morale.
Yeah. And another thing is too with the news, sometimes the news could be so negative and just showing all the deaths and it just have people in sorrow and all of that. During these times, I don't want to hear people talking about they depressed and all of this and this, that, and the third. You got a house over your head, right? You eating, right? You got a shower, you got hot water, right? Like there's no you got a loved one, you got loved ones, like you straight, you're not on the street, nothing. So like I don't want to hear no complaining, none of that. because it just don't make no sense. We just got to be grateful, and I think that's what the key is during this time is, I think, really when we talk about God and spirituality, this shit is a sit down for everybody, really to take their blessings in and count their blessings, because really, me and I'm pretty sure you could contest to this, being an artist, you traveling the world, you doing your thing, you meeting different people, you can't really sit down and really soak into what's happening. We just reacting to whatever is hitting us. We just getting hit with stuff. We get hit with all the love, all the girls, all the everything, and we just moving and grooving. But we're not really sitting down and
doing it, you know,
and doing stuff. My first wake up call was my ex had passed away 2 years ago, and she was my first. She died from cancer. She's my age, and I was like, man, I really couldn't feel. Like, I felt numb because my mind was just focused on the next thing. Like,
moving so fast,
oh, I gotta go to this spot, or I gotta go. I literally had somebody who was filming me for a show outside of the funeral parlor. So it was like I wasn't allowing myself to grieve, and that bothered me. That really bothered me. So I came off tour during the Madman tour because I was just going through things like that, not seeing my family, not seeing my friends. And we all needed this mental break.
Right.
I feel like we all needed that. We all needed to slow down and really just take in things.
No doubt. The reset.
Mm-hmm.
Your song Shaba. Now, I'm from Brooklyn, large Jamaican, large Caribbean community. Like when I was a kid, Shaba Ranks was the Don Dada. You know what I'm saying? Like,
What?
Like you're younger than me. I don't know if you really understand what Shaba represented, but then you made this record. You know what I'm saying? Like, let me first say, "Short Nigga But My Dick Tall" is one of the greatest opening lines in hip hop of all time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Talk to me about what inspired you to make that record about that man.
Because I knew that I'm gonna talk about the "Short Nigga But My Dick Tall" line first.
Okay.
Because women love to come up to me and laugh at that line. But the thing is, with that line, it's a lot of truth to that line, and I knew there was a lot of short guys that could relate to that line.
It's
so
proven.
that's that line.
It's proven.
That's the line.
It's true. It's true. I must say it's true. That's what you said, right, Jazz? It's true. You asking if it's true?
It's proven. I know a lot of short guys that have big packages. I've seen it with my own eyes.
That's what I'm saying. And I'm about average height. I'm not like a midget. Like I'm average. But hold on for a minute.
All right.
You get a chance to. You said that the other day.
Okay.
You get a chance to.
Yeah, Melba just passed me on a note, and she said you said something beautiful. The earth needed to cleanse. She said I said that. I don't remember me saying that, but I said it.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah, the earth needed to cleanse. But
No doubt.
back to Shaba, right? Like it goes back to paying homage. I wanted to pay homage to a dance hall legend. I grew up seeing him on Rap City and just like doing his thing. He had all the gold chains, all the girls, all the cars.
Right. He had a whole trailer load full of girls.
Come on now.
Yeah.
How you get a whole trailer, nigga?
Come on now.
No doubt. Shout out to Shaba Ranks. Speaking of paying tribute, let's pay tribute to Yams right now. Such a good dude, great energy. Always embrace me and show me so much love. Talk to me about the impact. I mean, Yams started ASAP, right? A lot of people don't know that, I think.
Yep. Yams started ASAP. Yep.
No doubt. But yeah, talk to me about his vision, the vision for always strive and prosper. And Yams Fest.
What I can take from his vision, because I never really talked to him about his actual vision. What I take from his vision is actually what he did. And he took a bunch of different cloths and weaved them together, different textures. So you got Rocky, which is like silk. You got Ferg, which is like leather. You got, Naz, which is like a Chanel tweed. You got 12, which is like a denim. You got Addy, which is like a wool. You know what I'm saying? And put them all together and made them work all at one time, which is hard to do. Everybody got different personalities. We're not perfect. We're just human. And he made it work.
No
He made
doubt.
it work. And beyond that, he did the knowledge. He worked with Dipset. Before he worked with us, he interned with Max B. He packed CDs and mixtapes and things like that. Was a nerd, really. He ain't look like a nerd, but he definitely was a nerd. He was on different blog sites and just getting a lot of information and really studied the game, so he was able to guide us in the right direction.
No doubt. Now y'all just lost another member, China Rogers.
Yeah.
People were not as familiar. China was just doing her thing. So
Right.
rest in peace to her. Condolences to her family. Is there a certain track or a certain project that people who are not familiar with her music should check out?
Check everything out. You got to listen to the whole body of work. She was a beautiful person, a beautiful woman, a beautiful friend. She always brought light into the room, and yeah, rest in peace to her soul, man. Like she was definitely hard. She was a hard rapper for Philly. You know Philly breed hard rappers.
That's right.
And she modeled. She was a model, and she was like the first girl really throwing up that A and representing. So, whenever y'all get a chance, go check China workout. I had no clue she was suffering the way she was suffering. And that's why we all need to reach out to our friends and loved ones more often, like even when we get busy. And that's what I feel like this time is for. This downtime, we could reach out to the people that we usually don't talk to.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that, because that was just leading me into my next question. You deal with in your music, you've dealt with depression in your music. You've talked honestly about it. People who come from situations like hard situations self-medicate and don't get to go to the therapy, and we use whatever drugs, whatever escapes is around us.
Right.
So for people who are ASAP fans who see the passing of Yams, to see the passing of China, do you have anything that you could say to the fans who might be feeling like they're on the brink like that?
I would say don't turn to drugs. Think about the problem. Remember that drugs ain't get you into this problem. Drugs ain't never get you into the problem. You just using drugs, which is an outside chemical, to fix the problem. It's outside your body. So you imbalancing your body by putting the drugs in your body. So you got to deal with that problem and learn how to cope without the drugs. That's what meditation is for. That's what drinking water and being healthy is for. That's what exercise is for. That's what talking about you need to talk to somebody about that problem. I know a lot of people feel wary about therapists and stuff like that. Even me, to a certain extent. I seen a therapist for about a few months and stuff like that. Now they talking about you got to Zoom and all of this with the therapist and all. Like, that's a lot. You know what I'm saying? But as long as you could talk to a friend, you could talk to a cousin, you could talk to a family member about what you going through, that shit will work wonders. Trust when I'm telling you. Like, all you need is somebody to tell you, man, it ain't even that serious. And you realize, like, damn, you could be on a brink of jumping off a bridge or some shit like that, and somebody just tell you what you go, oh, I went through that.
Right.
Damn, I was stressing that, because people got a way of locking into their thoughts. And we get locked into our thoughts and we feel like there's no escape. Like, we can't come out. And then that's when you just start not feeling like yourself and not being comfortable with yourself. And then you want to move and move to the next place. You know what I'm saying? And we don't need that. So I think people need to communicate more, constantly check on their friends, constantly spread love, spread light, energy, because we all one. When somebody passes, we all go through that pain.
Yeah.
I think it's amazing that you're so open with dealing with your own anxiety. Has the state of the world right now made anything tougher for you?
You said what happened?
I said I think it's amazing how open you are in dealing with your anxiety. And I said, what we're going through right now, has it made things tougher for you?
Nah, I'm actually good, man. I needed to chill. I needed to rest. I needed to catch up on sleep. I needed to catch up on me. I needed to catch up on Painting. I needed to catch up on drawing, designing. I needed to catch up on family. I'm having people hit me up that never hit me up before. I didn't even know that they wanted to talk to me. I was like, oh, where you want to talk to me? I didn't even
You was
know.
moving so fast.
Yeah, I was like, damn, like, all right. So like I'm actually, besides all of, you know, the obvious things, the obstacle that we're going through, I'm enjoying staying home and getting in tune with myself and my family.
No doubt. No doubt. Word is bond. You grew up, you know, watching Dipset run around Harlem.
Right.
You talked about Yams interning for Dipset. Can you talk to me? You know, I came in the game before Dipset, but I see the influence that Dipset has on the people that came after them. Can you talk to me as somebody from Uptown, from Harlem, area of the world, the impact that Dipset had on y'all growing up?
Dipset is like, you familiar with Harmony Korine, right? The director?
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
So you know how everything he shoots is heightened. All the colors.
Right. Right. Shout out to Harold, Crazy Harold, and all them from Kids and all that.
Yeah, he did Kids and everything like that.
Yeah.
So he takes heightened moments in films and really like exploits them. That's what Dipset is to me. Like Dipset is flamboyant. That's because Harlem is flamboyant. But they took it to the next level. It's like, all right, if we flamboyant and we pretty, Cam is like, I'm gonna wear pink. I'm gonna drive around in a pink Range. I'm gonna wear the biggest chains, the biggest diamonds, the biggest rings, and I'm gonna talk slow so everybody hear what I'm saying.
Right.
Yeah, and you know the same thing with Jewels. Jim Jones was the rugged one, the project child. You know the blood that ran around. You know,
right,
repping 031 and just wilding out. You had Freaky Zeke was really the wild one, and they represented all aspects of Harlem.
No doubt. No doubt. Shout out to Dipset. Now ASAP Mob, y'all, there's a lot of movements. New York have been struggling in the marketplace competitive wise because down south was killing them so hard. Dipset kind of brought New York back in the same way that Rockefeller did back in '97. Then ASAP Mob came through and y'all brought New York back again. But what's interesting is that y'all were more influenced by not just New York sound. Y'all influenced by the whole hip hop sound. So you start employing like trap influences. You use the word trill in your music. Did y'all find any blowback from either people down south who felt like y'all was taking their slang, or from New Yorkers who felt like y'all should have been repping more in New York style?
We was embraced by all of the people that we work with because we was literally working with people from these regions. So when you think about like the trill sound, you know, we was working with Bun B and Beautiful Lou, who was from Texas, and all of these different guys. Like I would call my first trip to Texas before I was even signed, and I had a buzz, and people knew who ASAP Ferg was. I got connected with Chase Infinite. Shout out to him, to Bun B.
Shout out to Chase Infinite. That's my brother right there.
Yeah, I knew you would know Chase Infinite.
Of course. Me and Chase. I know Chase is a rapper. Y'all know Chase is a man.
I know. I know Chase
bars.
is a rapper too. He still give me bars sometimes.
No doubt.
Self-scientific. And
shout out to DJ Khalil.
Yeah, DJ Khalil is my
steady gang.
He's my Yoda, DJ Khalil.
Yeah.
But yeah, like we like Rocky went to college in Memphis, so he loved that sound. I love Harlem all day, but Rocky really introduced me to the South. The gold grills and all of that stuff like that, the whole culture of everything. And we just adapted it and mixed it. Like I was doing chopped and screwed before I even knew it was a crew that made that.
Right.
Just because I like the way it sound when I slow things down or I reverse things and all of that. Like we just love to manipulate music and create something new. But we embrace Killer Leon. Like Killer Leon told me he used to live in Harlem. He used to hustle on 145th. Like so when I went to Houston, it was all love. When I went to Houston, I actually got flown out by these teenage kids to do a song and a video. And Travis Scott was one of the kids. I had took him around. I had showed Travis around. He spent the night at my mom's crib, everything, like the crib I grew up in, everything. So Houston, and particularly, I hold a very warm place in my heart for Houston.
No doubt, no doubt. Now y'all, beyond just having the sound, a different sound, you also made sure to employ the dancers. Like I read an interview with you. Now I read an interview we talk about like seeing the dances in Harlem. You talk in your music about wearing the big T-shirts and dancing, doing the
6X
Harlem Shake.
T-shirts.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Like, talk to me about your inspiration for making the Dope Walk video and bringing the dance back.
The Dope Walk was really the Harlem Shake, but
Okay.
it was with like a little spin on it. Like when people was on dope, you see a lot of dope heads in Harlem, especially when they leaving the methadone clinic on 125th in Lexington, going to the 6 train. They be like looking like they fall asleep. They sleepwalking.
Right.
So I incorporated it into the dance.
Right.
And that's what the Dope Walk was.
Okay. Yeah, Jasmin, I don't know what happened with Jasmin. Hold on.
Let's get Jazz back on the phone.
Let me see.
Tweak, what up?
All right, I'm calling Jasmin back. See if she pick up. There she go. Jasmin.
We lost you,
All right,
Jazz.
now, we lost Jasmin for a second. Now, shout out to ASAP Rocky. Me and him born the same day, so that's my Libra.
You a
brother.
Libra?
I'm a Libra too, right?
I'm a Libra, October 20th, all day. You on the 3rd?
Yeah. Me and Rocky born on the 3rd.
Yes, sir.
Now Jasmin had a question about this whole.
Okay.
Because I don't be paying attention to what goes on the internet all the time. What'd you say, Jasmin?
Okay, so right now is the big debate over who made Air Force One popping again. Obviously, my time with Nelly when it came out with Air Force One.
Oh, I seen that.
Made the Air Force One pop.
I think we made it popping for our generation, but he definitely made it popping for his generation too. Like we was all listening to that Air Force One song and looking at that video. It made me want to buy some Air Force Ones.
See, now I was telling Jazz, like as far from my perspective, hustlers in Brooklyn, hustlers in Uptown, hustlers in St. Louis, hustlers in Cincinnati, hustlers in Texas. Dope boys was wearing Air Force Ones, like with the white T-shirts.
Right.
Like that was the official drug dealer sneaker.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like Jay and Dame, the Rockefeller boys, was the first ones to really that's why I really saw it in the mainstream.
But
like,
they get it from the drug dealers in Harlem.
That's what I'm saying. Like Dame and Cameron and them, like, so I feel like with Nelly, Nelly is just so big and popular. Anything he touches
It was
going
a
to
popping
become.
song.
Yeah, I mean, he made the sales spike.
Right.
That's what I'm saying specifically. He made the sales spike. It might have been like, only black people and hustlers wearing Air Force Ones. By the time Nelly dropped that song, it was white people and Mexican people and people in LA and Texas wearing Air Force Ones. So I give him the credit for that. But when we came along, we did the same thing in a way where, we seen Kanye in Air Force Ones because Virgil was hanging around us. And he was Kanye's creative director at the time. And then you see like models that's in Vogue wearing Air Force Ones. You seen Ricardo Ticci from Givenchy creating the Air Force One. So we definitely was a part of the Nike spike for our generation.
So it's different genres. That's what it is. So because Talib, how he grew up, it was Jay-Z, the dope dealers. Me and you both grew up with Nelly because I'm only a year older than you. But then the next year, you guys, and so everyone knows the other people.
Exactly.
I mean, but beyond the Air Force One, the whole crew, Rocky, you, 12E, like the whole ASAP crew, y'all have leaned into the fashion thing. Like when I first started hearing about you, Chase Infinite was working at Prohibit.
Prohibit, yeah, he had yep.
Yeah, and I would see
that
y'all
was
in the
spot.
store. That was the spot.
Most
right?
Def used to be in there. Kendrick used to be in there. Everybody used to be in there.
No doubt. So talk to me about why y'all felt like it was very important to add the fashion element to the whole ASAP movement.
It was important because that was who we were. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, we just had to be who we was, and that's what got us big. Like around the time we would go shopping, we was getting Margiela shoe samples and like Yves Saint Laurent like coats from thrift
Right.
shops and things like that.
Right.
Some of us were stealing it because we couldn't afford it. And we wanted to
Tell
look
them about
nice.
that thrift shop life, you know, because a lot of people don't really know how dedicated you have to be fly.
You said what happened?
Talk to them about that. I mean, being kids who growing up with nothing, but you're gonna get fly by any means. Whether
That's
it be a
Harlem. That's Harlem. That's what I'm saying. You could be the brokest person in the world. When you are Harlem, you're gonna look like you got $1 billion in your pocket.
No doubt. Well, shout out to Harlem. I gotta say, brother, first of all, I want to once again give you your flowers. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you, my brother.
We approaching like we less than 5 minutes out. Tonight I'm a DJ on my IG. I was gonna do a dedication to Harlem. But I'm gonna save that for next week. I'm gonna do that next week.
All right.
Because we lost Fred the Godson.
All right.
So I'm gonna dedicate tonight to the BX and to
Okay.
the Bronx. You know what I'm saying?
I love that. So that means you're gonna do a little KRS-One.
Oh, absolutely. Brother.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. I'm tuning in.
KRS-One, Fat Joe, Digging in the Craze, Diamond D. You know, I got an album. It's not too late. I'm saying this publicly. It's not too late for you to jump on the album, me and Diamond
My
D.
brother, just slide in the DM. I got you. That's it.
No doubt.
It's done.
No doubt. But everybody who's watching, make sure that you go. Tomorrow, this interview is going to be on UPROXX on the YouTube channel. I'm going to head over to my IG and start DJing for Fred the Godson. Give it up to ASAP Ferg. Represent ASAP Mob in the building. Brother, we love you over here. Thank you for making our lives.
I love y'all too, man.
Yeah.
Value out right now. Make sure y'all go look at the video. Download the song Value.
The video's good too. Like, talk to me a little bit about the video because the video is very timely.
Well, I just brought a house, so I just shot a video in my house. And Haji from just the ASAP Mob, he shot the video. He's a really good friend of mine, collaborator. And I just wanted to spread a message of, like, what do you value? Mm-hmm. So throughout the video, you see, like, the beginning, my grandmother, she's saying, like, a poem. And she's talking about, we used to be slaves with whips and chains. And then it shows, like, the Lamborghini, and then it shows the chains. And the grills and everything like that. So it was a metaphor to what we value now and how it still parallels to like our ancestors. So it's just like giving you a open eye of what's going on. And it's a fun video. The editing is crazy. It's one of my best videos. The art direction is crazy. And the song is nuts. Produced by Raja Beats.
No doubt. Shout out to all the producers. Y'all got some great producers in the crew. I want to shout out to everybody in the comments section. I've been looking at the comments as you've been talking, and all over the world, I got people coming in from Russia, from Turkey, from Poland. Some people are like, oh, I was supposed to be in Poland. You know.
What about them?